everybody, and once again, welcome back to my channel. This channel is called Video Creation Tips for Entrepreneurs and Others, and my name is Mike LaValle. I'm the owner and CEO of Triple M Video Productions out of St. Petersburg, Florida. I have over 20 years of experience in television, writing, producing, and directing. What we do on this channel is, every week, we give video creation tips to turn do-it-yourself videos into more professional-looking ones. So if you like what you see here, by all means, drop us a like. That always helps. Please hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask them down in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And if you happen to be on your phone, make sure you go into YouTube settings and make sure notifications are turned on so that you don't miss any of our weekly content. So this week's tip, what we're talking about is those occasions when you want to include a piece of video that comes from a moving vehicle. So we'll start with cars. That's what you're going to be in most of the time. And if you want to shoot video from a moving car, that's fine. The best way to do it is obviously if you have a dash mount, so you can just mount it right to the dashboard, and that way it'll be smooth. So that's obviously the best way to do it. Keep in mind, if you do this, try not to do it on a rainy day. I understand you may want to do it on a rainy day because you want that ambiance, but keep in mind, if it rains, if you're not running your, defrosters or whatever your car happens to have, the air conditioning, the heat, keep in mind sometimes when it rains, it can fog your windows. So if you're doing it on a rainy day, you might end up with just, looking at a foggy window more than anything else. So a dash cam is the best way to go. But if you do a dash cam, try to do it on a nice, clear, sunny day. Now, maybe you don't have a dash mount, and that's fine. You can try holding the camera to keep it steady. And again, like I said in one of my very earliest videos, the best thing to do is get a stabilizer stick, and then you can just put your camera right on that, and it will stabilize it. Also, a lot of cameras come with an image stabilization feature built into them. So you could go into your camera and turn that on, and that way the image will be nice and stable and steady. But, if you don't, that's fine. Or, sometimes image stabilization might not always be 100% effective when you're in a moving vehicle, with bumps and that kind of thing. So if you don't have a dash cam and you want to hold it, again, if you have a stabilizer stick, that's best. But, most people can hold it in their hand pretty steady too. The best thing I would say to do if you're going to do that is, roll down your window and, put the camera outside the window. It'll make for a pretty good shot. Now, obviously, you want to make sure you hold onto your camera very tightly. You do not want to drop your camera, so be very careful when you do this. But it will make a better shot than trying to shoot it through a window. Now we get into other vehicles, other than a car that you might want to shoot from. Keep in mind, boats. Boats are really difficult to keep your camera steady and the shot steady because boats are, there's waves, and boats aren't exactly the smoothest ride, especially if they're going fast. So if you want to shoot from a boat, make sure you're doing it from a boat that's moving pretty slow. I know that doesn't have the same effect. So, you can certainly try to do it from a boat that's cruising along, but keep in mind, I don't know how great the shot's going to look because it could very well be very bumpy and shaky because that's what boats are. Maybe you live in a big city like San Francisco that happens to have a trolley system. Trolleys are actually pretty smooth. I'm thinking you can get some pretty good video from a trolley. And actually, that would be very interesting in San Francisco with the hills and stuff. So trolleys, I would think trolleys would be pretty smooth to try and pull that effect off. Now, perhaps you have a Jeep and, you want to record as you're going off-roading. Again, that's kind of like the boat. Keep in mind, I mean, if you're off-roading, you're not exactly on smooth terrain, so that's, going to be an issue once again to try and keep the shot steady and stable. But by all means, give it a shot, because that would definitely make some interesting video. Keep in mind the difficulty it will be if you're off-roading. Um, but if you're on a Jeep, say you're in the mountains or something, and you happen to be on the paved road where it's nice and smooth, Jeeps are actually great because there's really no windows in your way, especially if it's in the summer and the top's off. So that would be a pretty cool place to get video of that type. Maybe you have a side by side as well, and you're off into the woods exploring, and that's kind of the same as the Jeep. It can get you some great video, that's for sure, and it's easy to shoot from because again, no windows in your way. But once again, the difficulty of it coming out and looking steady and looking just like a good shot may be more difficult than you realize, but hey, give it a shot. Take a lot of video. I'm sure you'll get some that'll end up being usable. And lastly, do not, at least this is my own personal tip to you, please do not try and shoot video from a bike of any type, be it motorized or pedal. When you're on a bike, you should have both hands working the bike. You should have both hands where they should be. You should be concentrating because you're on a bike, and mistakes on bikes, as we know, can be way worse than mistakes on other vehicles. So my advice, don't do it on a bike. It's just to have a camera in one hand and trying to get video while you're maneuvering a bike. I just feel it's too dangerous. My advice to you is don't do it on a bike. You may want to, but my advice is it's dangerous to do it on a bike. I would avoid that at all costs. So that was our tip for this week, filming from a moving vehicle. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back next week with yet another video creation tip for everybody. Until then, I am Mike LaValle, the owner and CEO of Triple M Video Productions, and I will see you next week.